Peace, love, and blessings to each and every one of you. Welcome back. And welcome to those who are new. Welcome you to our new show, Redefining Authenticity. My name is Sheronda L. Barksdale, founder and CEO of Authentically Your Expressions. I am the vision specialist and a spiritual life empowerment coach. And Kim, introduce yourself, my bestie.
All right, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is. Okay, what's going on, y'all? Peace and blessings, love and light. I am your girl, Kim Martin Raymond, your toolbox essentialist and founder of Redefining You LLC, where I help my clients to realign themselves, mind, body, and spirit. I am a spiritual life coach. I am a minister. I am a holistic nutritionist. The list just goes on and on, but I'm here.
On and on.
Here visiting you guys from Austin, Texas. You know, it's always where in the world am I? I was home last week, this week, just a couple of days ago, actually. And now I'm here in Austin, Texas. So shout out to my Texans here. I'm in town for a quick visit. So glad to be here. All right, my dear.
Yeah, she know I call her Carmen San Diego because you don't know where in the world Carmen San Diego is about to be.
I put the hat on, but my head too big. It won't fit.
I love it. Keep it going. Keep doing what you do, Kim. I love every minute of it. So today, we are talking about no more excuses. None. As y'all know, as we just introduced ourselves, we're life coaches. So the bottom line for what both of us do is help you reach the goals that you desire for your life.
Yes.
Your life, not what we think you should be doing, but what you said you want to do. But guess what we got to do? Eliminate all excuses. And that's big and that's hard because we kind of discussed that a smidge last week. But excuses aren't necessarily always bad, right, Kim?
Right.
They're not always something negative. They're not always something that's not true even. Sometimes it's simply being a parent. I'm a mother. I'm a father. I'm a single parent. Sometimes I'm a wife. I'm a husband. I'm a spouse. There's things you got to tend to. I'm an employee. I'm an employer. And so you have so many things that you're trying to do at one time. But sometimes we can find ourselves making excuses to even get to that point. A lot of us never get to the CEO of our own business because we come up with all the reasons why we can't. So tonight, we're going to kind of discuss that so we can start eliminating those. It's not to insult nobody. It's because we've been through it. We had to go in and be like, listen, heifer, I heard what you said. And it may be true, but let's do something else. Let's find some other way to get there. One of the things I hear from people the most, and Kim, you can give me some feedback on this too. Mm-hmm. One of the things I hear the most is my people won't support me. Mm-hmm. My friends and family don't support what I do. And so my biggest audience has never been my friends and family. That's just, I have friends who support me, Kim. I have, I'm sure my boyfriend G will be on here in a minute. Veronica will be on here in a minute. I have them. But in droves, the people that you've met over the years, you've gone to college with, you've met at work and all those people living. They're doing what they do and you can't be mad at them. Guess what? They're trying to be a CEO too. Sometimes people are just doing what they do to create the life that they desire. And it's not because it's something against you. It's just because they have their own busy life. But guess what? Sometimes it is because it's against you. When people think they know you,
right?
They hold you inside a box that they always knew you in. So they remember that time when you were struggling and they had to help you and you had all those hard times and they keep you there. Or that one time you was a little wild back when you was 19, you stay there. So it doesn't matter that you're 40, 50 years old now trying to pursue a master's degree or a doctorate degree, or you're trying to start your podcast or your page and you're trying to monetize and all those things. It don't matter. It's because sometimes people's perception of you stays with that one moment that they remember for the rest of your life. Guess whose problem that is, though? Theirs. Not yours. That's their problem. Any thoughts about that, Kim?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because what tends to happen is, people create their own narrative of who they believe you are, and you have to determine whether you're going to agree with their perception of you or not.
Period.
Because just like you said, people remember you at different stages in your life, and they don't tend to let that go, especially your family.
Yep.
Because they've known you the longest and they've seen you go through different trials and tribulations or different experiences, and they hold you to that.
Yep.
Never thinking that you are going to at some point change.
Ooh.
And it takes time for people to change.
Yes.
Even when we do self-assessments on ourselves, it doesn't always guarantee that change and behavior is going to happen right then and there. It takes time. And then if you're allowing people to keep you in that box that they put you in, you're never going to be able to step outside of it because you're agreeing with them that what they're saying is so. So you either believe what it is that they're saying, or you just accept the fact that that's a lie.
Yes.
It's a lie.
Yes.
You're lying to yourself if you're agreeing with them because you're believing that what they're saying about you is true. So they're going to continue to treat you as such.
As such.
Yeah.
You know what, Kim? I love that. What you said, the key thing was coming into agreement. So my question to you all that I want to pose real quick is,
absolutely,
if you could come into agreement to allow people to make you feel less than who you are, why can't you come into agreement with the goal that you set for yourself? Because it requires the same exact energy.
Yes.
It requires the same exact amount of energy to come into agreement with, this is the goal I'm setting for myself. I want to retire by 60 and be set where if I get disability or SSI, whatever comes later, whatever comes, maybe retirement, all that money, but I'm set because I created this space, this space, this space, and this space for myself. So I'm going to behave as such, come into full alignment with the actions that's going to allow me to do that, versus coming to agreement with, if people say that I can't do it, then I must not be able to do it. And one of the things that I have done, I've had to do with people in my life who kind of make me feel that way, is I give a full release to them, because people are entitled to their opinions about you. Period. They're allowed to have that space. However, I don't have to have the space with you. Because if your words, sometimes people's words really impact you, especially if it's your mother, your brother, your cousin, your best friend, or the person you thought was your best friend, your spouse. There are people that you really value their opinion. I'm not talking about Joe Smo on the street.
Right.
We don't care about I don't care about the people that may come on our lives later on and want to talk some smack or say something. I don't care about that. I'm talking about the people that really impact you, that make you feel some kind of way about yourself. Sometimes you got to put them motherfuckers on pause. I got to come back to this person when I've crossed the goal line that I've created. Once I get through that, Kim, do you remember we did the breast cancer walk?
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes, I do.
You don't think about it till you cross. I don't want to think about how tired I am. That line.
Right.
I can talk about how tired I am. I don't want to talk about it before then. But you go until you cross the goal line. Excuse me. And then you can tell people about what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's now tangible. Now it's something that makes sense. And it doesn't hurt when somebody says something about it. Go ahead, Kim.
Right. Well, and the thing is, we have to be careful. We have to be careful about, when we talk about triggers and we talk about pushing buttons and things like that, they can't push a button unless you create the button for them to push. They can't trigger you if you're not handing them the gun. Okay? They can't do it. So we have to be cognizant of the things that we are allowing to get into our psyche.
Yes.
Okay? And we have to be able to remember to operate from our heart. What is it that we believe that we can do? Because people don't know what we're capable of because they're not inside of us. They can only go based on what they've experienced of us. What pages in the story of our life have they read about us? They don't know us from cover to cover.
That's right.
My God does. He knows every hair on my head. He knows me from the beginning of my life till the end.
Come on.
He does. All right. But the whole point of it is that no one can make that determination but you. So it has to start from within. And if you know that you have the drive and the ability and the wherewithal to do it, you're going to pursue it. And so it begins to come to that point of what is your determination, or what is your definition of productivity? What is your definition of success, and what does that mean to you?
Yeah.
That way, when you accomplish it, it is something that you've created.
Yes.
Not something that somebody else does, because that's where the excuses come in, because we feel like we have to validate what somebody else is saying, because we're so used to being valued as a people, and we seek that, but the value has to start from within first.
Let's go.
Micah.
I told you I'm gonna pass around the collection plate, but yeah, I'm gonna go into another one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's two, but they're basically the same thing. The fear of failure and fear of success will both have you making excuses, and they're both real. The fear of failure and the fear of success. People be like, how can I fear being successful? Oh, people do every single day. I've done it myself, because guess what? When you are successful, when the thought that you have about what success looks like prior to actually entering that space can be intimidating. Mm-hmm. Can I hold up to it? Can I really show up as that person? Am I, what's going to be required of me? I have to be consistent. What if I'm not going to be what if I can't be consistent enough to be successful? What if I get there and I won't show up the way that I need to? But the crazy part is you're already it. You're it now. You are the success today. The shift into a new behavior is just a shift that yourself today has chosen in order to reach the goal that you want. You ain't become nobody new. You still crazy. Wait, never mind. That's not what I was supposed to say. Wait. Anyway, you still who you are. You still get to show up and be you. There's an adjustment of the time management and all the different things we'll talk about as coaches throughout this space. However, you are still you. So you have to give yourself the grace to say, I fear success, but I will have it. You can acknowledge the fear. Mm-hmm. But I will eat that fear alive. Fear, you are mine. I will tear you to pieces, because I'm going to have what I said I'm going to have. I am what God said I am, and I'm going to walk fully into that space with fear. Do it afraid. I'm going to do it afraid. I'm going to do it afraid, and I'm going to be exactly who I say I am. No excuses. Chase that fear out of your body. Talk to it. Sometimes you got to tell it, look, bitch. Bitch. You got to go, because you are telling me too many lies and you're creating too many excuses that are causing me not to be the fullness of who I know I am. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do it. Come on, Kim.
Right. Actually, I love that you say grace, because that's so critical. We have to be able to extend ourselves grace. We have to be able to say, okay, what am I doing that I can do for myself? 18. What is it that I'm doing to create a space for myself that encompasses what I believe, again, success and productivity are? What am I doing? And is it meaningful to me? You may do something afraid, but the fact that you showed up, that may be enough just for now. Sometimes when we make plans to do things, sometimes we go so far, we extend so far that we don't take the few steps or reward ourselves or give ourselves grace for the steps that we made.
Flojo, right here.
Okay, we have to be able to do that. We have to be able to take those baby steps and celebrate those things. And sometimes we don't do that. We don't extend ourselves the grace that we should. Ooh. Because when we do that, when we give ourselves that grace, we're giving ourselves permission to grow. We're
Yeah.
getting because we've already stepped outside of that little bit of a comfort zone that we were in. And even if it was just a toenail that went across, that's enough for now.
That
That may
crusty
be
one.
enough just for
That little
today.
crusty
The
one.
one that crosses over the other one that looks all weird. Yes, that
With the
one.
bunion. The one with the bunion.
Okay, yes. But that's it. It's a matter of making that small step and knowing that we can take it. Then that's going to give us the courage and the wherewithal to take that next step.
Yes.
But if we're making steps, I stuck my toe in the water. It was cold. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? Are you going to jump in the next time? Are you going to stick your foot in a little further? Or are you just going to walk away?
Yep.
Then it's on you to determine what it is that you're going to do. We tend to make those excuses and say, oh, we're not going to, I can't do this because what? Because why?
Because why?
What is it that's stopping you from doing it? Or are you looking at the bigger picture and saying, well, I can't go on that vacation that I want to go on because it's going to cost too much money. All right, well, how about let's start small? How about let's try to go to the hotel that's downtown in the town where we live?
Hello.
How about let's go to the park? How about let's just take a step? Let's start getting used to getting to that place where we need to get. Okay, I've never been in a hotel. So let me go in a hotel in my neighborhood, in my area. Then I can start branching out. So I know what the experience is going to be like when I get further out.
Yes.
I think about my girlfriend and I, we went kayaking in Puerto Rico for her 40th birthday.
So nice.
I ain't never been kayaking. I was not going to go and die in the water in Puerto Rico. So we decided to go kayaking in Georgia so we could try it out and see what it was. So that way we knew what the expectation is. Sometimes we make excuses because we don't have the knowledge that we need. We don't have the experience that we need. And that's when we have to start creating experiences right where we are. Yes. So that way we can begin to take those baby steps and to see what it looks like before we get out there. Sometimes, you're going to have people who are going to just jump right out there, and that's great. And then you're going to have some who aren't.
And that's okay.
Taking that initial step.
The toe.
That toe. The naughty one. The little pinky toe that be all black because it's crushed up in the corner of the shoe.
And that's what I love about the people that I'm surrounded by. Even G and Veronica, man, oh my God, the way that they push me, and it's so gentle. G was like, but just go ahead and start putting it on IG. And I was like, there was no real reason not to. There was no real reason not to. I just was kind of avoiding it for whatever reason. Fear of success, fear of failure, one or the other, maybe both. But when somebody nudges you and you have that kind of knowing who's surrounding you and having that kind of love behind you makes you start making moves. Me and V were talking last night and I was working on my website and putting everything up on the website. And V was like, I said something about putting my toe in the water. And then I kind of pulled my finger back, mimicking my toe. And she was like, no, leave the toe in the water. You ain't got to put the whole foot in there. Just let the toe get acclimated to the cold water so that you can do it. I'm a life coach and we need coaching.
All the time.
We're not beyond coaching. We're not beyond that. I'm good at what I do. I'm real good. And then I need somebody to be like, hey, every so often. Right. But then talk about the fear of failure. People are afraid to fail, and I get it. But that has a lot to do with the ego. Mm-hmm. That has a lot to do with learned behaviors about shame. But what things are supposed to look like. You're supposed to have this. You're supposed to have long hair. You're supposed to have short hair. Whatever it's supposed to be. A lot of times we try to fit the image of what success looks like, but not what it looks like for us. It's what has been defined by the world. And mind you, the people who are so successful, it didn't look like that for them.
Right.
The same ones who are criticizing you and the ones who ain't thinking about you at all, but you think are criticizing you, it didn't look like that for them. Guess what they did? Put the toe in the water. And guess what they did? They failed. And they failed. And they failed. But each failure is an opportunity to do it different. Can you tell I listened to a lot of Oprah? I really did. Years ago, I was fully in her bag, Aunt Iyanla. But I learned that the failure, that seemingly what is a failure or didn't pan out the way you thought it was going to, increased your territory. It increased the space within your body and around you. So now you have knowledge to start again that you didn't have before when you started the first time. So now I know what I didn't do. And now I know how I can approach it this time so it can be better. And if it doesn't quite work out the way I wanted to this time, I know at the end of it, I'm better than I started. I'm better than I started. So the point is, the fear is real. We don't do that. At Authentically Your Expressions, we do not do, girl, don't be afraid of nothing. That's not what we're going to do. Because we are spiritual beings having a human existence.
That's right.
The human existence comes with fear, sadness, grief, death, pain. All the things that are so scary exist for real. But what we do is we call a thing. I'm scared. So then I can face it and say, what am I scared of? I'm scared of succeeding because now I got to show up for people. Or I'm scared of failing because I'm going to look stupid. I look stupid anyway half the time to some people. I don't care.
Right.
You don't say to some people, they always going to have some thought about who you are.
That's right.
The point is, did you show up how you want to? You weren't supposed to show up how nobody else wanted you to. I don't give a damn. If Kim didn't know that I wasn't going to show up like how I show up every day, Kim wouldn't be bothering me. That's one thing I know about Kim. And it's vice versa.
That's right.
It's vice versa.
That's
so
right.
The people who love you and the people who honor you, how you show up, I don't need everybody to like me. If everybody like me, I'm doing something wrong. I'm really doing something wrong if everybody likes me. But the people who do like me, I'm going to show up and be bold in who I am and be authentic. Smell good, smell stink. Okay, I won't come around y'all smell stink.
Don't.
Kim. I know Kim is walking shea butter, okay? She's just walking shea butter. That's how she smells like all day, every day. But I come around you funky though. But I'm going to come out.
Right.
Today, I was tired. It's been a long ass day. I was doing hair before I got on here, but guess what? Yeah. No more excuses. I'm here.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You're here. You're here. And you talked about, people failing, and you talked about failure. The beauty of getting to that point of failing is that you took the step. That there was something that you wanted to try. There was something that you felt, positive about. Thank you, honey. That's right. No more excuses.
Okay.
Say that. Okay. We have to get to a place where we have to go beyond that failure. And you said, say, what is it that I learned? What did you learn? That's always the thing. When a child falls, when the child puts their hand on that hot stove, what'd you learn? Don't put your hand back up there. Okay? But it doesn't mean that when it comes time, but there are some good things that can come out of being, having something on that stove. It just don't need to be your hand. It needs to be a pot so that you can learn how to cook and do all the kinds of things like that.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of getting into that space of saying that, okay, I've learned something as a result of this, and now I'm going to move in a different direction. Period. Now I'm going to take what I've learned and I'm going to use that to my benefit. But it all comes down to, again, what is it that I can do, or what are some things that I can do if I notice that certain barriers are coming up? What is the thing that's making me make excuses for this? Is it the people? Or is it the thing? Okay, I think about 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with spinal stenosis. I used to run on my treadmill. I was out there doing the thing, exercising, doing my bit. They told me that I couldn't be on the treadmill but 8 minutes. They tested and they were like, okay, well, you're not gonna be able to do this. And I could have said, you know what? I can't stand and exercise. So what am I going to do? I went on YouTube and found chair exercises, and I've been doing chair exercises ever since. It helped with my weight loss and everything else like that. But I didn't let that situation or that circumstance be the end all. because there's more than one way to do something, and it's not always the way that everybody does it. That's why there's a such thing as trailblazers, because there are people who can say, hey, you know what, everybody's doing it this way, but I think there's a way that I can do it better.
Come on.
And they blaze that trail.
Come on.
So be that trailblazer that does something different, that does something new. Be that person. Don't be that person that's a sheeple doing what everybody else is doing because everybody else is doing it. Find out what is going to work for you.
Yes.
And that's why, that whole thing for me, it became personal.
Yeah.
And then I realized there were other people. I wasn't the only person doing chair exercises. There's millions of people doing it. They've been doing it for years. But because I didn't know, because I didn't seek other ways of doing it, or start developing other ways of doing it, I didn't know. And so sometimes you just start making excuses because you just don't know. Don't be ignorant about it. Go and research it. We live in an age of technology.
Come on.
Everything is at our fingerprints. All we got to do is type it in. Somebody somewhere may have heard about it. And if they didn't, be the one to say, all right, then if nobody is doing this, let me figure out how I can do it and begin taking the steps. You be the trailblazer. We have to get to that point. We have to get to that point of what can I do different? If I'm making excuses because of that ignorance, I need to stop doing that and now start saying, okay, what can I do?
Yeah.
Not I can't do this, but what can I do? Yeah. What is the small singular step that I can take that's going to get me one step closer to that? We always hear everybody talks about everything is a process. Everything doesn't happen instantly.
Period.
So what are we doing to take those small steps that are going to avoid the excuses?
Come on.
And then as time goes on, just like I said, honey, I've been working out. Girl, the guns. See that? See that? Okay, you see a little bit of gobble gobble right there. Okay, that's fine. We're ignoring it. But you see these guns sitting in my chair, working it out. Okay, because I've decided that I'm not going to let the fact that I can't stand or run on the treadmill be the only thing that it is the only means that I have of being able to work out my body. What do people do that in wheelchairs?
Okay, so that means we can create a class for Kim next year in Smiles, the Self-Mastery Institute of Learning Empowerment, so she could teach people how to do some of these workouts.
Let's do it.
Did you hear me?
Let's do it.
Okay. And hey, I'm gonna show my guns next year this time. Right now, they look like they're supposed to be nursing babies. They're a comfort zone. They're comfort.
That's it. It's winter, honey. It's the winter. So yes.
But no, I'm on it. I'm on it. Truthfully, I'm on it. But yeah, before I turn this over to Kim completely for her vision of her business and how this shows up with no more excuses, I'm gonna use one more example, and that's lack of clarity. Lack of clarity is going to cause you to make excuses because you don't know what you want. You don't know what you want. You have ideas, and that's okay. Ideas turn into goals. Have ideas, but then we got to put some actionable steps behind it. And as the vision specialist, as a spiritual life empowerment coach, I'm going to encourage you, number one, to connect with your all, the universe, the greatness, God, all, however that shows up for you. I'm going to direct you there because that's your guide. Whatever you consider to be your guide, go there first and then tap into what is it? How do I show up in this life?
Right.
And it doesn't, keep in mind, it's not stagnant. It doesn't always have to be the same. I'm a teacher and I'm just going to always be a teacher. That's not always true. You can start one profession and start a new profession. You can start one relationship and end up in a different relationship. All things have the potential to change, but have direction in this moment. Because if you don't know, you're going to blame the sun, the moon, the rain, the stars, and the mountain. Did I go as yet just now? Or somebody, Babyface? I went to somebody's song. It was Babyface. But anyway, you're going to find all the reasons of why you can't accomplish the very thing that you want the most. People who want a healthy relationship also have excuses of, I might get hurt. I'm scared of commitment. I don't know if that's what I really want when they know good damn well that's what they really want. All the reasons of why they just to help. So how do you reach the goal if your clarity isn't certain? If you're not certain that this is what I want, then either you're going to have nobody or you're going to have anybody. Nobody or just anybody. It's gonna be anybody. Just they ain't even really doing nothing for you. They just there. They just there. And it's not a healthy, happy relationship. Hey Veronica, I knew you'd be popping up in here somewhere. But yeah, so having clarity, again, create the vision board. Create the vision board. Create the vision board. Something you can look at. The reason vision boards are powerful is because the brain responds to what it sees. That's what advertisement banks on. When they created all them ads for the presidential campaign, and they talked about the borders and all the children and all these different things that was happening, they banked on your eye gate seeing something so that your emotions will react and you would believe it. Burger King gonna make that burger look juicy. It's never gonna look like that on that wrapper, but on a commercial, that's gonna be the best Burger King burger you will ever see. And they do it on purpose to lure you in so that your eye gates see it, so that you have an emotional reaction to it, so that you go and buy it. It works. That's how the brain operates. That Krispy Kreme sign is the main one that taught me this thing. I was like, why every time this hot sign, that hot light is on, the line is wrapped around the building twice, 2 times, and they do melt in your mouth like, never mind. I haven't done that in a few years now because I was like, this is the devil. The devil is a liar. Never mind. But I'm not doing it because I know what you're trying to do to me. But that's how the vision board works. It's telling your brain to have an emotional reaction so that you'll have an action behind it. If I say my next trip is going to be in Dubai, I find pictures of Dubai and I put them in a vision board. Never been there. I don't have to. I see it and have an emotional reaction to the water, the architecture, the buildings. And then I start doing some research about it. And I start looking into how much the flights cost. I start looking into how much the hotel is to create the emotional reaction. You use your eye gates and you can use your ear gates. You can listen to things that are going to encourage you to do what you need to do. And so you have an emotional, it's the emotive part of vision boards that makes vision boards work. It's not just the board itself. You got to feel something. I've told people to make vision boards and they don't care nothing about half the pictures that's on there. Do you know what you want? Are you clear about your focus? Do you know what you want? If you don't really want that, or you're not sure yet, let's not put that on there yet. We can come back to that. You always can change your pictures on your vision board. Again, just a quick tip for y'all. If you have PhotoGrid or Canva or something like that, you could create it and you could pull pictures off and then replace it with another picture. And then that way you can save it to your phone and your screensaver and all that good stuff. Nonetheless, know what you want. Create some clarity for yourself. You want some hobbies? Do you like to read? No. Do you like to listen? Yes. Find books that you can listen to. You want to do more things with your kids, but you ain't got the money? Go to the library. Here in Atlanta, I found those splash pads that are free, where they can go run around act fool at the little parks, water shooting straight out the ground, and they're having a good time. And kids don't care if it costs something or not. They don't know. But create the space that you want for yourself.
Absolutely. I love that. Like you said, it starts from within. It starts from within. Everything starts from within.
Yeah.
And just like you said, it's about also, creating systems. When you think about the things that you want to do, we spend so much time trying to recreate the wheel instead of creating systems and processes so that we're not wasting our mental energy on things that are already static, things that we already know. And then we can, like I said, work on being creative and not just, again, recreating that wheel. What are we doing? What are some of the things that we're putting into place that are going to help us to not make excuses? Just like I was talking about with the exercise, every day now, 5:30 like clockwork, I'm getting up, I'm going down there, I'm doing my chair exercises. I've already found something that I know is going to work, and I've seen the results of it working because I went and I researched it, and I became clear about what works for me, not for everyone else. And now I go down there and I don't have to waste the brain power trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do today? Because, or what am I going to do? I'm not sure. If I've already started creating certain systems and processes for the way I do certain things, I don't have to waste the mental energy on that. Now I can be creative. Now I know that there's another way that I can exercise. Now I can be creative about what I do with that. Okay, well, now I can do these exercises and those. Okay, now let me try it with weights. Let me try it this way. Now I can be creative about it because now I've established what that is and what works. And so I like that. I like to be able to do that because you don't want to waste the minute. Because when you start thinking about it, what happens? You get that analysis paralysis, and next thing you know, you're vacillating in it, and then it doesn't happen.
I love that.
Or you're sitting there and you're just like, oh man, I don't know. I can't figure it out. You don't want to spend your time spinning your wheels on things you already know how to do. If you know that there's something you don't know, then what do you do about that? Yeah. What are you doing about it so that you're not creating excuses? If you're saying, well, I don't know a whole lot of words. All right, well, then get a dictionary and learn a new word a day. Do something different. Do something different that's going to change that can't into can. Mm-hmm. And it comes from doing that. Then you also have to start defining what productivity means to you. What does that mean to you? Because when you establish that, then you can create space to do the things that you want to do. Yeah.
So before you even go there, can I comment on your first one?
Absolutely.
About creating systems. Anybody who's like me, that is very flighty, not focused most of the time, you need systems in place. I love that she even mentioned that. You have to have, because it's the only thing that's going to create momentum. It's the only thing that's going to create any form of movement is if you have some systems in place. That's about having a village, having someone who could watch your kids during this time, or doing things while the kids are sleeping during that time, or I'm going to go to the gym during this. I know that I have this 15-minute window to go to the gym, or I can't go to the gym, so I got this 15-minute. The workout don't have to be in the morning. Like Kim, because I love her. I'd be like, girl, just let me roll over. But it don't have to be in the morning. You could be on your lunch break. It could be in the evenings. For some people, that actually wears them down and they can sleep a little bit better. For some people, that wires them up and they can't do it at night, and I get that too. But creating the system that actually works for you.
Right.
Me and her both have learned from so many. I won't say learn. We've watched a lot of life coaching and different things, and we've learned the most. We have to show up with what makes sense for us. So me and Kim are never going to tell you to create something that's literally exactly like how we would do it.
Right.
We are never going to say that. But make it make sense for you and have a system in place where I know on Sundays, this is how my days look. I know Monday through Friday, this is how my days look. Or whatever that looks for you on a daily basis. Right. And create a system that's going to work, because all organisms work off systems. Period.
That's right. I love it. I love it. And and you're right. That's what it's about, doing that. Once you get to that space, then you can begin to, like you said, get those creative juices flowing, because those excuses aren't there, because there are certain things that are just going to already be static. They're already going to be things that you're consistently doing. And so then it becomes like second nature. It becomes like brushing your teeth. It comes like, taking a shower. Hopefully.
They don't be brushing their teeth. They don't brush their teeth. They take a shower. That's half the problem. That's half the problem.
So you don't be a yuck mouth, okay? Anyway. Okay. They call me yuck mouth because I don't brush. Anyway, I digress. Okay. But again, you're creating systems. So you're creating habits so that way you're not making excuses, because you've created a boundary. You have created a space that you work within, and you've been successful in that.
Yes.
And so that's where the excuses begin to minimize, because it's something that you've created. Yes. And it's something that you created from within yourself. It wasn't something that somebody did for you or somebody made for you, because that's where the resistance and the excuses come up with as well. Okay. Sometimes we make excuses because we don't know how to say no. Okay. And then we got to backpedal, because we've said yes to everybody and everything, and didn't stop to think whether it was something that we were capable of doing. Mm-hmm. So now we've got to make excuses as to why we can't do it. when we didn't take time to determine whether it was something that was tangible for us to do in the first place. Okay. And that's when it comes to other people. But that's where, again, you have to start creating those boundaries, and you have to saying to yourself, okay, what is it that I'm seeking to do in this day, and follow your course, because everybody else's emergency is not yours.
Yep.
Okay. So you have to get to that space where you're saying, okay, what is it that I can do?
Yes.
Okay. What is it that I can do, or what is it that I'm seeking to do in the course of a day, and not making it so much that I can't be successful. Okay. I'm gonna make one more little point on that, and then I'm gonna turn it over to you, Sheronda.
Come on.
On that. The thing is, you have to be able to say, all right, this is what I'm setting out to do today, and not make that list a laundry list, so that way you're like,
yes,
I can't, there's no way I can do all of this. Mm-hmm. What is something that I need to do today that definitely needs to get done today? And if I do that, and that's all that I do for the day, hooray.
Yes.
That's it. I'm extending myself grace. I'm not overextending myself.
Yes.
Because if I get to the place where I'm overextending myself, now I'm making excuses as to why I can't. Did what it was that I set out to do, was it feasible to be able to do all of that in one day?
Yeah.
Think about when you're looking at your emails.
Ooh.
Okay. Say you're looking at your emails, and think about it if it was real people. Okay. Think about your emails as if they were real people. Would you be able to have interactions with 20 people in one day? Is that even plausible? So why is it that you think that you're going to be able to do all of that in one day, even with your emails?
Yes.
You're setting yourself up for failure. Then you've got to make excuses because you set expectations, or you've allowed people to set expectations for what it was that you're capable of doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't want to get into the habit of doing that. Start thinking about what are the small steps that you can take, the tangible steps that you can take that's going to be realistic. Like you said, I always say hashtag MEMS. MIMS. That's hashtag MIMS. Make it make sense. It's got to make sense. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because if it doesn't, you're setting yourself up for failure. And then that's where the judgment comes in. Yeah. And that's where now all of a sudden you're like, well, I can't do it. I can't. And now all of a sudden you're making excuses for what you can't do.
Yep.
When you didn't even make it feasible to be able to do it.
In a first place.
Your thoughts on that?
I love the part where you said about creating boundaries, period. Because that's one of the many excuses I've heard people say is, well, sometimes my mama calls me and she need me, or my sister calls me and that person need me. And that means you don't have no systems in place. That means exactly what Kim said. You don't have systems in place. I understand how much you love whomever, but there's got to be, when people know that they can run past your boundaries and they can grab you and pull you at any given moment, they don't give a damn about what goals you're trying to reach. And it's not their business to care about what goals you're trying to reach. It's your business to be concerned about your goals and be able to tell people, I'll do it tomorrow. Because in your system tomorrow, you've allotted time for when you could do certain things for people. During this time, I know I can go over here to my mama's house and cook this meal or put these groceries up or take it to get her nails done. Whatever, you create boundaries for people. When you create boundaries for people, they respect you. Mm-hmm. They learn to respect. They throw a little tantrum every so often. Who cares? Fuck. Don't nobody care. Because the life that you have to live can't be lived by nobody else but you.
Right.
So giving all those excuses over to other people is not making you feel any better. Matter of fact, it's making you feel worse because you're sacrificing yourself and all your personal desires for other people.
Right.
Even if your desire is to be a healer, as a healer, I have to sacrifice myself. Period. There's parts of me that I have to give up that I don't want to. But in return, I find places to pour back in where there's no healing being done going outside of me. It's being poured into me. The system I created is now in this space. Like Kim said last week, the phone can't ring. I can take all the pictures I want at a waterfall, at an ocean, a lake, or whatever I want to do. Sit outside and look at the damn sun, whatever the hell it is that it looks like for me, to be poured into by God, by spirit, by all the energies that support this life. Then I could come back to you. But I remember a time when I used to spend way too much time answering my phone and answering Messenger, and people were trying to hit me up, all because I'm trying to build my business, and I love sacrificing myself for people. I just love sacrificing myself. And then I was drained. I found myself completely, my cup was empty. So when was I supposed to reach my goals? What, the cup empty? It's empty about water. But y'all got the point. It's empty.
Right.
And who's gonna put? Most times, if you say, "Can you put some water back in my?" People be like, "I got something to do. I can't do that right now. I'm sorry, I can't do that for you right now." And they ain't wrong, because you emptied your cup. So creating a system allows you to be poured into, and you can pour out, pour into, pour out. Create healthy boundaries. I'll do this from this time to this time. And after this time, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing with this person. I'm not dealing with this job.
Uh-huh.
People who don't know how to turn their laptops off when they get home and they still answering work. Unless it's just that serious. Emergencies, y'all know I ain't talking about. If somebody come on here and talk about, well, sometimes it's an emergency. Shut up. But sometimes you have to be able to create the boundary. Hey, Carisha.
Yes. Hey, girl.
I love that G said a little progress is better than no progress, period. But you have to create the space for you. Don't look for people to create it for you. Right. You create it for you, they'll fall in line, and that's how they create it for you, by you creating it for yourself. Thank you for saying that. Thank you.
That's it. That's it. But I mean, like you said, it's a powerful thing, because it all comes back to going within. It all comes back to us. It all comes back to what boundaries we're setting. But then it's also a matter of us recognizing what are the barriers. Ooh. All right. So that is the question that I want to ask you and want to leave with you guys is, what are your barriers? What is it that is causing you to make the excuses? Is it that you don't know? Is it that you need help? Because it's not until we can identify what it is that is causing us to make these excuses, then the healing can't start from there. If we don't acknowledge or identify what it is that is causing us to make those excuses. Why am I saying that I'm late for work every single day?
Ooh,
why? What is my excuse? Have I tried to get up earlier? Is it that there's traffic? Is it that I need to set my alarm a little earlier? What are some of the things that I did? Because it starts with me. Because I'm the one making the excuse. So the excuse is coming from within, right? So if I'm making that excuse, what is causing me to make that excuse? What is the thing? What is the barrier? What is the barrier? Is it my inability to manage my time? Oof. Is it my inability to ask for help when I need it? Just like Sheronda said, coaches need coaches. We don't know everything. We don't have the answers for everything. And sometimes we need a little help ourselves. But it's our ability to acknowledge that. That's going to help us to be able to be that better version of ourselves. And that's going to minimize the excuses that we've made. Because a lot of them are self-inflicted. Okay, they are things that they are situations that sometimes we have created. Now, definitely there are some that we don't have any control over, but that's on that other person. As long as I've done my part. If I was supposed to be somewhere at 2:00 and I showed up at 2:00 and it didn't start until 5:00, that's on that person. But I was where I was supposed to be at the appointed time. So I did what it was that I was supposed to do. And if I see that something is becoming a cycle, what am I doing to break that cycle?
Yeah.
It all comes from us getting to that point of acknowledgement. When are we going to determine what those barriers are? And then what are we going to do about them? Are we going to make excuses for the fact, oh, I just act like that because that's how I am. I just do that because that's just my personality. Does that make it right?
Come on.
It doesn't make it right.
Mm-mm.
Okay, the whole thing is to say what are some things that we can do so that way we have a peace within ourselves. We always talk about finding that inner peace.
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do that's going to help me to sleep at night? Okay, because I sleep real good. Okay, and if I'm having a spectacular day, I might even snore a little bit for you.
You're so crazy.
Me and my husband, we gonna ask for this. We're gonna do a duet on snoring. Okay, because I'm gonna sleep deep. Okay. Because I'm taking time to say, okay, I have a peace. I know that I've done what I can do just for today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there is something that said when they do when I'm a Reiki master, so you have those things where you say just for today.
Yes.
Just for today, I'm gonna be slow to anger. Just for today, I'm going to be kind to all living things. Yes. Just for today, I'm not going to worry. Just for today, I'm going to do the best that I can at work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just for today. Okay. And I'm going to let tomorrow handle itself. But just for today, I'm going to do the best that I can do with the tools that I have. And that's something that's important too. Make sure that you have the tools that you need to be successful. Sometimes the excuses come because we don't have what it is that we need.
Yeah.
And now we have to start the process of, okay, what is it that I need that's going to help me to get where I want to go? And so, it's a process. It's a process. All right, wrap it up for us, my friend.
Not yet. We're gonna run them all at 8:00 tonight.
Yay, let's do it.
Well, I just say that. But one of my boundaries I'm about to create is to lock my door every time I'm on this thing because they act like I got one bathroom in my house. Close my door.
Fix your face.
You intentionally get a house with more than one bathroom. Now they want to keep popping in. Peace, Gizzy.
Thank you, Gizzy. Hey, girl.
Peace, baby girl. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up real soon. But I think the bottom line for me, Kim, is there are so many reasons why you can't do what you want to do. There's a bunch of them. The majority of them aren't true.
Mm-hmm.
Or the majority of them, at least, you could find a way to get around them. Right. Bottom line is, call a thing a thing. Know your truth. Know what's real for you. Know where you struggle, and don't be afraid to say it. You don't have to be afraid to face yourself. You don't have to necessarily tell everybody you have procrastination problems or you don't get up on time or anything like that. You have a hard time losing weight because you like that little Debbie. You ain't got to tell everybody about it. Everybody got to know about that. However, you got to tell yourself that. You have to give yourself and honor your own truth so that you can move beyond where you are at any given moment in your life. Life has a way of shifting who you are over and over. You're a child. You're a girlfriend at some point. You're a employee. You're this person. You work at this job. You have that title. You have this title. Life will shift you 101 all over the damn place. But who are you steady? Who is your steady self? I am love. I am joy. I am peace. I am happy. I bring smiles to every room I walk in. I don't play that shit with no goddamn body. I show up the way that I want to in any given moment. I am that I am. I am more than enough. All the things that you know that you are, affirm it. I don't be playing about affirmations. I can go on and on with affirmations, but we got but so much time. But affirm who you are so that you don't continue to make excuses for what you want to be and how you want to show up. I love you. I hope you love you. Thank you, Kim.
That's it, honey. Look, I love you too. I love all my brothers and sisters who are out there listening and those who will catch it in the replay. It's just about, like you said, coming to know who you are. It says to know thyself. And the more we get to know who we are, and the more we begin to establish those tools, okay, the toolbox essentialist, okay,
and the more you create that vision,
right, exactly. And it's all about being able to say, okay, what do I have in my toolbox so that I can respond again and not react? You're going to hear me say that often. What are the tools that I have that are going to help me to respond and not react to the things that are going on around me? What are things am I putting in my mental, spiritual, and physical toolbox that are going to help me to get to that place of making no excuses? Because everything that I'm doing in my life or things I'm trying to do is helping me to grow. It's teaching me. I'm using life's experiences to help me. I'm using those opportunities when I failed to help me to grow. So I'm reaching in that toolbox for just what I need. And if there's a tool in there that I don't know how to use, I'm going to ask somebody who's going to show me how to use this, because we have everything that we need within. Some of the things we just don't know how to use. Some of the things we just have not been exposed to.
Yes.
And when we don't know, we have to be willing to ask.
Yes.
We have to be willing to love ourselves enough to go on that journey. We talk about being on this wellness journey. And as we're going on that journey, what are we doing to gather things that we need as we go? We may have a few things in our toolbox to start with, but what do we have going forward? What are the things that we need to add to it as we go?
Yes.
We don't know everything. You learn from your womb to your tomb. What are you learning? What are you going to be today, years old, learning that's going to help you to not make excuses?
Yes.
And if it comes from a lack of not knowing something, what are you going to do about that?
Yes.
Are you going to start digging through that toolbox? Are you going to start getting online? Are you going to start finding out about courses? Oh, I can't afford to go back to school. But can you find out if they have a certification program? Can you go online and get a book? Can you go to the, oh my goodness, dare I say, library where there's actual books and go and find out what it is that you're looking for? Everything doesn't have to go all the way to the extreme. What are the small steps that you can take? And how much grace are you going to extend to yourself?
Yes.
And that way you can say, okay, I did that, and celebrate that, and then say, okay, now let me see what my next step is.
Yes.
Because now the motivation and momentum has started.
Yes.
And then the excuses become fewer and far between.
Yeah. I'm going to throw out there real quick. Make sure y'all are following both of our YouTube pages. They've been on the bottom of the screen this whole time. Make sure you're following both of our YouTube pages. Make sure you click and like. Make sure you click and share. And make sure you turn on the notifications so we can see you next week. Because we love you. We thank you, and we appreciate your presence.
Yes, thank you, guys. Thank you for being with us tonight. We love you. Make sure that you reach out to us. If you're, if you're in need of coaching, reach out to either one of us. At the end of the show, you're going to see our QR codes that are going to come up. Please, again, like, follow, share, and subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know some things that you want to hear us talking about.
Please.
Okay? And write us, DM us, let us know, so that way we can keep it rocking. All right? All righty. That's going to wrap it up. All right. So until we see you guys the next time, peace, love, and light. Bye.
Bye.